What's good, YouTube? Dorsey Bay Gaming here. And if y'all hearing Mexican music in the background, that's my wife. She's playing Mexican music because she's cleaning. So I'm gonna let her do her thing, y'all. But anyway, today what I want to talk about is some things going forward in Madden, because what I don't want to do and what the community doesn't need to do is wait until next year before we start asking and saying, hey, can we get this in the game? Can we get this in the game? Can we get this in the game? Because if you know how game production works, when that new title is released, they almost immediately start working on next year's title. And we know from what Rex said, if we take him at his word at what he said, that this year is going to be the year for connected franchise and presentation. That his long-term goal for the game, for the franchise, is to make it as much like Sunday as possible. He did allude to something special that I really hope is in next year's rendition of the game. And he said that's where like player emotion actually plays a factor on the field. But I digress. What I really want to hit on today is the commentary in Madden 18. Like, I mean, not in 18, but in 19 for the future Maddens. We talked about this in many other videos. I've said it time and time again, and I'll say it again. Whenever you're doing a video and you're presenting, I mean, whenever you're doing a game, you know, if you turn on a football game, part of what makes watching that game awesome is the commentary. Now, I know that they can't do a true to life type of broadcast because that would simply take tons of time, tons of memory, and tons of cash. But I do feel that, you know, looking at some of the other games such as MLB The Show, who has different broadcasts, NHL, even in Madden 18 with Longshot, you had different commentary teams. And this is what I'm trying to tell y'all something about Longshot. The reason why I think it's one of the best things that ever happened to Madden is because I feel like EA has something special with Longshot this year, because there's so much in Longshot that a lot of the community has been asking for the entire game itself. Career mode, determining where you get drafted, actually doing drills and stuff like that to determine your draft stock, the different commentators, stuff like that. And of course, college football. You know we want college football back. But the commentary, you know, it would be really, really cool if they had different broadcast teams, such as this week you may play on Fox. This week you may play on ESPN. This week you may play on NFL Network, and have those commentary teams to back that. Not to mention a better halftime show, man. You know, playing the halftime show, people skip over the halftime show, and EA knows that people skip over the halftime show, so much so that they even added commentary this year. Sometimes they ask you like not to skip over the halftime show. And then if you do skip over it, they say some of the same lines they said last year, kind of talking about you because you skipped over the halftime show. EA, you got to listen, man. You can't be mad at somebody for skipping a halftime show. People are skipping it for a reason, because it's not good. It's not immersive. It doesn't draw you in. The halftime show is bad. I would rather not have a halftime show than have what we had, because we've had better. And I mean, I know that they're working on these things, or I hope that they're working on these things. But if you can put commentary in a game 2 years in a row that talks about you skipping the halftime show, I mean, dude, what about your fans? That's like deliberately saying we know, you know, but at least let us know, hey, we're working on this, you know. And then I look at games like coming out like NBA Live, because we have to mention that, because Rex even told us to look at what they're doing with NBA Live's franchise. That's kind of the route they want to go with Madden. Having, you know, commentary, live shows like the first take segment. I think that is awesome, especially because of the fact that they talk about what's going on. I love that. That is awesome. Hey, for Madden, I'd like to get Undisputed, because I like Skip and Shannon a little bit better than I like Stephen A. and the other guy. I'm a huge Stephen A. Smith fan. I really love his work. I think Max Keller just kind of nullifies it for me. That's why I would choose Undisputed over First Take, but I digress. It's ESPN, so I don't think And that's another thing people have to realize, their partnership with ESPN. Um, but they also have the NFL Network. So we could still have different commentary, different broadcast teams. They could strike deals with some of these other guys to get them in there. I would love the Fox commentary team, and stuff like that. I would like, during free agency or during off season, having commentary from Rich Eisen and those guys at NFL Network do a brilliant job. There's so much potential out there. Mike and Mike. Can you imagine having Mike and Mike talking about, what's going on during the NFL season? Can you imagine having those things in Madden? I think that would be brilliant. Even Mike Jr., because I listen to ESPN radio every day when I'm working in the mornings and stuff, and I love it. I mean, the radio shows are awesome, and they're live as well while you're hearing it on the radio. And if ESPN has a partnership with EA Sports, to me, they're not doing ESPN justice. And I feel like ESPN should have more of a footprint in the Madden community, and because you have so many brilliant people that can make a video game awesome if you just put them in the game. For instance, what they're doing with NBA Live, those segments, that is awesome. You can do that same stuff for Madden, that would make it that much more immersive, and you'll have people playing it. Now, I understand that it is a business at the end of the day, and they are not while they tell us they're in the business for giving us a great product, they're also in the business of making money. And right now, Madden Ultimate Team is their cash cow. It is what it is, y'all. And I would have to say, honestly, this is my first year actually getting into MUT, but the only reason why is because of the college football stuff that's in MUT. I'm still not playing online and stuff like that. I like franchise. I'm more of an offline player. That's just me. But I digress. So, and then, like at the beginning of Madden 18, you put Madden 18 in, and you got John Madden talking about Tom Brady. This is what's awesome to me. And that short amount and that small sentence that John Madden says about Tom Brady, to me, is better than all the commentary in the game. Hands down, for real. John Madden, I mean, can y'all get John Madden back doing some commentary? Like, I don't know, man. It's just, the guys do a decent job, but like, you find yourself not even listening to the commentary. You're watching the game or playing the game, whereas in other games, like college football, for instance, while I'm playing the game, I actually like to listen to what they're saying in the commentary, especially after halftime, whenever the girl gives like the halftime, like she gives a synopsis on what happened during the previous half and what the game plan is going forward for both teams. And I love that, it's even the injury report. They don't even speak on the injuries. They just pop it up at the bottom of the screen, And I understand, like I said, these are things that they want to work on, that they want to build on, but it's our job to start right now. I know a lot of people are going to say, dude, Madden 18 just came out less than a week ago, or, give it some time, no, if we're wanting these things in the game, we have to go ahead and start letting them know these things now. I'm telling you how games work, how game development works. If you give them time to put these things into the game, then they can, start adjusting and saying, okay, yeah, let's take a look at this. Let's see if this is a possibility or things of that nature, So commentary to me is a huge thing that can add to the immersiveness of the Madden franchise. And that's what I want to touch on in this video. We got plenty of time to do more videos. Y'all leave down in the comment section down below, what are some of the things that you want to improve on? We'll do a video about it. We'll talk about it. Like I said, I do these videos. I'll hit up Twitter. I'm strong on Twitter every day, getting this stuff out. Hey, tagging Rex, tagging Clint, tagging White, all those guys in it, to let them know the things that we want and what we're looking for. So all in all, the commentary, man, to me, that's not at the top of the list, but as far as presentation wise, it's at the top of the list. The commentary has to be different, especially with the halftime show. I would love a pregame show even, I like seeing the players run out, but wouldn't it be cool if you see the players run out and then they jump to like a pregame show where they're talking about the game, the stuff leading up to the game, and showing, maybe showing highlights from a previous game, while they're talking about it, or showing highlights throughout the season. Because what's cool is if you look at NCAA, as far as the highlights, because I know people say, well, how could they do that? Well, the game, believe it or not, in NCAA, the game saved your highlights in career mode. And so when you reach certain milestones, it would replay those old games and stuff like that. And you could go into a certain section of the game and it would have all of you could actually save your highlights, and it would show all of those highlights from your entire season or even career. You could even make a highlight tape. So they could use that same structure in Madden to where you don't have to manually save it. The game just automatically saves it. And whenever they're showing highlights for the pregame show or whatever, the weekly wrap-up show, that they can show highlights, from those previous games or whatever the case may be. I think that would be so cool, man. That would be really, really cool. And I think that they can do that. I think that's a possibility because they've done it in previous games as far as saving the highlights and showing those things. So that's, like I said, that's one of those things that will add to the immersion of the game, the commentary, the presentation, a good halftime show where you actually have a halftime show, not just highlights talking about plays. We want the highlights. The highlights are good, but give it to us. I'm gonna tell you, EA, people want something like Madden, NBA NFL 2K5's halftime show. That's what the community is wanting. And this. There's nothing wrong with being a copycat because essentially everybody's doing it. It's just like saying, well, I'm not going to make another football game or basketball game because there's already one out. No, you're going to do it. And guess what? NBA Live and 2K are going to have similarities. That's just unavoidable. You don't have to do it exactly like 2K did it. But that is the type of halftime show that people, me, myself, because I'm an immersive simulation type guy, I'm going to watch that halftime show to see what they have to say and stuff because it is part of the show. It's entertaining. It's fun. I love it. That's it in a nutshell. As far as the commentary package, improve the commentary, the halftime show, and throw in a pregame show or a weekly wrap-up show that we can watch, And if you're looking at it in the sense of, well, people aren't going to watch that. Well, you put a halftime show in the game for the past 3 years that ain't nobody been watching. So why not take a chance and put a halftime show in the game that people will actually watch? Because Rip Ripley, if that's his name, if that's not his name, y'all, sorry, Rip, if that's not your name. The guy that does the halftime show, y'all basically paying him for nothing because people aren't watching the halftime show. You see what I'm saying? So that money can be, if you make the halftime show better, then that money goes to good use, EA. But you're basically throwing money away, paying this guy to do this halftime show that nobody's watching. And then you get inside the game and you're telling people, watch the halftime show, or you're talking about people, oh, you're not even going to give your players a drink of water, or you're going to skip the halftime show, or this or that. You're trying to force us to do something for this guy that you paid this money to do this when you're not even giving him a platform to do a good halftime show on, even if you don't even have to go into the studio for the halftime show. I would even like seeing a 3D image guy, down on the actual football field, with a mic in his hand, talking about the game. The coach runs by and he may, have a word with the coach or something like that. That would be better than what you've given us for the past 3 years for a halftime show in Madden and then mocking us for not watching it. If you're going to pay these guys to do these halftime presentations and stuff like that, make it worth your money because people aren't watching it. And so EA, from a business standpoint, it is a waste of money. Put that money to good use and give us a halftime show worth watching. Give us some commentary that's new, that's dynamic, that's unique, that's refreshing. And give us many avenues. Give us, like I said, the different Fox. Give us some Fox commentary. Give us some NFL Network commentary. Give us some ESPN commentary. Mix it up and make it interesting. Because one thing that drew us to college football was because of Lee, Kurt, and Brad. Those guys were actually on ESPN. They actually did College Game Day. Those were the voices we were familiar with. Charles Davis and these guys, man, it's like, I don't feel like I want to listen to them like I would. Like, you know, Troy Aikman them doing broadcasting or something of that nature. You know, some of the more iconic broadcasters that's out there right now, you know, let those guys do what they do. They're there for a reason. Let them utilize that platform, y'all. But all in all, that's all I got for right now, y'all. Like I said, down in the comment section down below, what are some more things that we want to get added to Madden 19? I'll make a list of those things, and we'll start knocking out these videos, and I'll start sending this stuff, you know, tweeting this stuff to Rex and them and stuff to the community, letting these guys know these are the things we're looking for the next one, so that we can get our voices heard. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we can't complain about a product if we're not letting them know what we want and giving it to them in a time that they can work with it. But like I said, that's all I got for right now, y'all. Till next time, and guys.